Hello, kindly people of YouTube, Punk Rock Fairy Princess here, and I am back with another Star Kid review, this time with Holy Musical Batman. The book was written by Matt and Nick Lang. The music was written by Nick Gage and Scott Lamp. The lyrics were written by Nick Gage. You may remember Nick Gage from Twisted, in which he played the Sultan and the Genie. And the choreography is by Katie Spellman, who also did the choreography for Trails to Oregon and Annie. And the costumes, as per usual, are by Jun Saito. So Holy Musical Batman is about Batman and his meeting with Robin, his rivalry with Superman, and his fight with villains. The great thing about this musical is that even though it's a parody of like DC Comics, even if you're not super familiar with the DC universe, it's still funny and you get most of the jokes, because I'm not very familiar at all with the DC universe. I think I saw like the Dark Knight movie, the Wonder Woman movie, and I watched some of like the shows like Arrow and The Flash and Supergirl. But like as for like the main like Superman and Batman, I am not familiar at all with them. So, and I still got most of the jokes. So, yeah. So after this there will be spoilers. So, yeah, you all know the drill. Okay, Joe Walker plays Batman, and it's really great to see Joe Walker in like a leading role because he usually plays like villains or like secondary characters, but like it's really cool to see him as like the main character, and he plays this role really well. I think his Batman voice is great. Yeah, Joe Walker is great, and I always forget that like Joe Walker can sing. I don't know why I forget that, but I do. Anyway, if one had potentially forgotten that Joe Walker can sing, he can sing. Joe Walker's great. Yes, I freaking love this show. Okay, Nick Lang plays Robin. Nick usually doesn't play a ton of like main roles. He usually will play like smaller secondary characters, so it's really cool to see him as a more main character in this show, and Nick Lang is a fucking treasure, my dudes. He is. He's great. Energy, just like pure energy, and Robin is the sweetest fucking character, and he is great, and Nick Lang is a treasure, like I said. So, Chris Allen plays Alfred, and Chris Allen is always great. He's not in a ton of Star Kid shows. I think this is the first one he's in since like Little White Lie, and he's great. I think he does the accent well. I'm not knowledgeable in accents, but he sounded good to me. Yeah, he was great. Jeff Blim plays Sweet Tooth, who is the main villain, and Jeff Blim is amazing. He's just, there's like the joke in the Star Kid fandom that he's like a goblin man, which this role fits very well. He is chaos personified in this role, and he's kind of like the Joker, but like candy themed. Brian Holden plays Superman, and he's great. He's so great. Like I said, sometimes I forget that obviously all the Star Kids can sing. They make musicals, so they can sing, but sometimes you forget like how well someone can sing, and then it's like, oh shit, Brian Holden can sing. Like, I knew that, but like, I seem to have forgotten somehow. Jamie Lynn Beatty plays Poison Ivy, and Candy, who is like, she's like Sweet Tooth's Harley Quinn, right? Yeah, that's probably an apt comparison. But yeah, it's Jamie Lynn Beatty. Her voice is amazing. Good lord. Dylan Saunders plays a bunch of roles in this one. He plays like one of the gangsters, the main narrator dude in the first song. I will say this many times, but Dylan's voice is fucking glorious. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, Julia Albane plays a little bit more of a bigger role than usual in this one, which is cool because I love Julia Albane. She plays Vicky Vale, the main reporter lady, and that role seems to really suit her really well. Like, I just like, yes, Vicky, yes. Denise Donovan plays a bunch of roles in this one, the main one being Catwoman, and it's great. She's great. Lauren Lopez plays a bunch of roles, the most notable of which being Commissioner Gordon, because of course Lauren Lopez is playing like the elderly man. But she does it really well, and the voice, it's great. Yes. Okay. Jim Povlo plays a bunch of smaller roles, and Jim Povlo is awesome. So, Meredith Stepien plays a bunch of ensemble roles. She plays the Riddler, and that costume is great. Jun Saito's costumes are always so good. Nick Strauss plays a bunch of characters. He plays Mr. Penguin, Mr. Penguin. Like I said, I don't know nothing about the DC universe. He plays the Penguin dude. You know. Yes. Okay. Yes. And Nick Strauss is great. And Nico Acker plays a couple of ensemble roles, but he's really funny. So the music for the show, it's so fucking good. It has a very like 80s vibe. There's a lot of synthesizer, and it's so catchy. It's so good. The opening number is Holy Musical Batman. Also props to StarKid for managing to avoid any copyright issues by just using the at symbol instead of like the AT in Batman. Stroke of genius. But yeah, the first song, it's catchy, it's good. It has Dylan's like wahs, which are so good. It probably sounded terrible when I did it just now, but like when he does it, it sounds really good. Dark Side Lonely Night, Chris Allen sings a bit of it, and like obviously he's not a very like the strongest singer, which is why he's usually in like the acting roles, but he does it pretty well, like the accent and like, yeah, it's good. Rogues Are We and Rogues Are We Reprise are both so good. Love those songs so much. They're just so good. They're just so good. I mean, you've got like Jamie's voice is so good, and like all the others like Dylan and Meredith and Denise, and all of them are amazing. And the line Harmony is great. Then we have the dynamic duet, which is like the song between Batman and Robin, and it's great because you've got like the really like soft verses and the really catchy chorus, and then like intermittently there's like the blatantly contrasting super violent fight scenes, and I fucking love it. If I were analyzing this more in depth, there'd probably be something I could make of that, but like just for now, it's so good. Robin Sucks is the opening number of the second act. I don't know why I like this song so much, but I do. The fast verses are great, and just the general comic book discourse that I occasionally see on Tumblr I never quite understand, but like, I support y'all. That's kind of what the vibe I get from it. Which is probably the point, like it's supposed to be about like how people are just like, oh no, but Batman is a solitary, gritty hero. The gritty realism of a man who fights crime dressed as a bat. The American Way is, damn, that's such a good song. It's so good. I love songs that like where every like main character is singing their part and like all of the chorus together. It's like It reminds me of like End of Act 1 songs, because End of Act 1 songs are always amazing. But this one, it's so great because like I feel like I said, if I were to do a more in-depth analysis, I could probably do a ton with this song, just about, you know, general like American philosophies. Not that I know anything about American philosophies. I'm Canadian. I'm an outside observer. That song is so good. And the way the different verses, like it's the same general melody, but like they sound different, because once you get to like Sweet Tooth's verse, it's much more like creepy and shit. It's great. Then To Be a Man, another fucking great, just so good. Such a good song. Better than Batman v Superman, which admittedly I did not watch, but I heard was really bad. So I'm going to assume that this entire musical number was better than that movie. So yes. And then we have the final number, Super Friends. This whole song is super catchy. You've got like a bunch of DC superheroes, most of which I was able to identify. I was quite proud of myself. But yeah, you've got everybody, even Spider-Man, who is agile as hell. This whole show is so good. Like I said, you get most of the jokes even if you're not super familiar with like the DC universe and Batman and Superman, because like most of the things I talk about are things that even people from the outside of the fandom are like, ah, yes, I've heard of that. I loved how they like referenced Batman and Joker's relationship, how like Batman was just like, ugh, I miss Joker. I liked fighting with him. He was so funny. The whole manner in which Batman, who's like the gritty, dark character, was made into this lovable character, I thought was just done so well. And the number of puns in this show is fucking glorious. So good. And I love how like the show itself kind of criticizes the people who think that Robin like dumbs down, or not really dumbs down, but like makes Batman's character a little less you know, calling them pretentious douchebags. It's great. The only criticism I could really make is the character of Quan Lee is a bit yikesy. Anyway, this show is so good. Even if you know basically nothing about like Batman, Superman, or DC in general, you can still watch it and you will still probably get most of the jokes because I did so. Okay, thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!